This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky Morning start right here on WKYT. Good morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
It's great to have you with us. I'm Andrea Walker. It is Wednesday, September 28th, and our team is busy this morning.
Yeah, we have a lot happening right now. At 6:30, details on a deadly crash that's happened this morning in Scott County. It also injured two others. We'll have the latest.
Police need your help identifying two men who are accused of robbing a man who tried to help them.
And Big Blue fans don't care about a little cool or even a little rain. We'll be live at Tent City that's set up this morning ahead of Big Blue Madness.
They are looking for ways to pass the time out there because they still got a few days till they get those tickets, and they're going to be dancing in the rain maybe a little bit later today.
Have to. Listen, I've been here 4 years, and in those 4 years, I believe it's been 2 or 3 times that they've gone through this. So this isn't their first rodeo, okay? They know exactly what to do. But rain is on the way. Outside early this morning, here is the look, and we're pretty dry across the roadways, and I'm not seeing any issues there during the morning hours. I'd say by noontime, anywhere from 10, 11 a.m., noon, you could have a slight chance of rain far northern zones, but for the most part, the bulk actually comes after that. And you can see that 5 p.m. to about 8 p.m. is when you really start to see rain become pretty widespread. So the next few days, the focus of the forecast is showers and thunderstorms, and it gets pretty chilly too. There's going to be some pretty chilly rain once we travel off through the next few days. We'll get into that. I'll show you the timing on it and show you how to plan out the rest of your day coming up.
And we begin with a WKYT breaking news alert. Police in Scott County are right now investigating what has turned out to be a deadly crash.
We found out about this crash just before 5 o'clock this morning. The scene is near Stamping Ground. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at the alert desk with the very latest.
The Scott County coroner confirms to our newsroom that one person is dead following this early morning crash. Now, this crash happened in Scott County near Stamping Ground. Here's a look at the map of the area. Now, the truck crashed on Wood Lake Road near Pea Ridge Road, and as you can see, this is close to the Franklin County line. The coroner said only one truck was involved in the crash, and he says there were 3 people inside the truck at the time. We're told the truck was traveling westbound on Wood Lake. As it approached a curve, it drove off the road and through a fence. The male driver was pronounced dead at the scene. We're told the 2 female passengers were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, for those of you who take this road in the morning, the right lane of Wood Lake is still closed. Police are directing traffic, and we are told traffic is moving along in the area this morning. Now, we will have updates on this crash throughout the day here on WKYT and on our website, WKYT.com. Andrea, Bill?
All right, Michelle, thank you very much.
Human remains found in eastern Kentucky have been sent to Frankfort for identification.
Those remains were found in the Milo community of Martin County. Police say they were found in the same area where Scotty Fannin disappeared last December. They suspect foul play in Fannin's disappearance. State police plan to be back out at the scene today. A prosecutor in the criminal case involving former University of Kentucky board chairman Billy Joe Miles says the alleged victim has received death threats. Miles pleaded not guilty this week to rape, sodomy, and bribing a witness. The Assistant State Attorney General who is prosecuting the case cited 9 occasions since Miles' indictment in which the alleged victim has been contacted or harassed. Those include death threats left on the alleged victim's car and someone throwing a hammer through her windshield while she was driving. An attorney for Miles has denied any involvement by Miles or his family.
Nicholasville police are looking for 2 men who they say robbed someone who offered to give them a free ride. We got our hands on these surveillance pictures. Take a look at your screen. These are the 2 suspects. The men were in the 5-Star gas station on South Main Street Monday night. Nicholasville police say the men asked a man for a ride, then once in his car, robbed him at gunpoint. During a struggle, the gun went off. A bullet landed in one of the seats.
You know, this situation, this guy was just doing somebody a favor, he thought, and look where he ended up. And so I hate to say that our society has become this, but you just have to be cautious in people who you pick up and who you think about giving a ride to.
Once caught, police say the suspects will likely face robbery and assault charges.
A Kentucky plumber has avoided jail time for his role in an international scheme that sent out millions of spam messages. Ryan Green is one of about 70 people charged worldwide after the FBI disabled an enterprise that infected at least 70,000 computers. The Pittsburgh Tribune-Review is reporting that the Green, who is out of Paducah, Kentucky, was sentenced to 2 years of probation. He pleaded guilty to hacking computers and making them send out spam messages. Green wrote to the judge that it was intoxicating to get attention online for his computer skills.
One central Kentucky city is seeing a boom in its population, only it's not the human kind. Winchester has seen a lot of overrun in felines. One woman is trying to help every single cat on a daily basis. As WKYT's Amber Philpott reports, a cat colony this size has put the Clark County Animal Shelter in quite the dilemma.
Take one glance and you might miss it, an overgrown area that sits just behind a Winchester shopping center. Take a closer look and you'll see what lurks about. They prowl and purr, and where there's one, there's more. Just steps from the back door of some businesses sits what's become a cat colony.
Come here, baby. Yeah. I'm trying to make this so it's not so visible.
You could say Ramona Baxter is the keeper of the cats.
Feed them every day, rain, shine, snow. We change out the straw twice a year.
She's made sure there is shelter for the cats and even takes care of the cost of spaying and neutering the animals.
Well, it's heartbreaking because they're scared. Everybody says these are wild cats. There's not a wild one here. They're all drop-offs.
As much as Ramona Baxter loves her cats, she knows dumping them isn't right. She has a message to those who think that's the answer.
If you can afford cigarettes and a tattoo, you can get your cat dog fixed.
Despite Baxter's efforts to try and help, it's become a growing problem for the director of the Clark County Animal Shelter.
It's easy to drive by and see 25, so that means there's at least that many more hiding.
Adriana Will says she is well aware of the feline population here and gets complaints often.
The issue with the specific colony you're referring to is just that it's such in the public eye. You know, there's a shopping center and people are in and out all the time, and they're calling us what's going on with this.
Her hands, she says, are tied. Right now, there's no ordinance on the books in the city of Winchester dealing with stray or feral cats. Another problem, the cats have taken up residence on private property where the owner doesn't seem to mind.
We can't go onto someone else's property and remove the animal, which is what a lot of people want us to do in this situation, and we just aren't able to do that.
The solution isn't easy. The cat population isn't going away, but Will says it is a conversation that needs to happen to find the best outcome for all these felines.
In the end, something's going to have to give, and these people have put a lot of work and money and time into caring for these cats, and the last thing we want to see is all that destroyed.
In Winchester, Amber Philpott, WKYT.
The director of the Clark County Animal Shelter says there are advantages of feral cats, but they can get out of control. Amber reached out to the Winchester city manager, who says they are continuing to work with policy officials and citizens on the issue.
Well, a dilemma for them over there, certainly. You know.
It really is. Too many cats, and I really like that. If you can afford cigarettes and a tattoo,
then maybe you can deal with this issue, right?
There you go.
Yeah, but you know, it's a problem, and yet the cats are there and they're cute and
they're precious.
So it's an issue.
Well, it's a chilly start to the day, but there are hundreds of UK basketball fans who aren't worried about the weather.
Not at all. They're now camping out in the official line to get Big Blue Madness tickets. Those tickets won't be handed out until Friday night. So how do fans pass the time between now and then? Let's go out to WKYT's Lauren Miner. She's talking with fans this morning live on UK's campus. Lauren, good morning.
You know, that's a really good question, and I've talked to some fans about how they plan on passing the time away, and there's actually events going down here later on today and throughout the week where fans can actually get out and do a couple activities. But you know, this scene out here and the atmosphere just shows how much fans are dedicated to their Kentucky basketball team. People have their tents, their blankets, and we are joined by some of the fans right now. We have Cody, Tony, and Jacob with us. Guys, are you guys staying warm?
It's kind of chilly out.
It's a little chilly out. They were giving me a hard time because I had my red coat on today. That was not on purpose. It was an accident. It was just the only coat that I had in my car. Now, how long have you guys been doing this for?
I've been doing it for 3 years.
Okay, 3 years?
I've been doing it for 5 years.
You've been doing it for 5 years. So what makes you keep coming back every year?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy people out here.
Yeah, and I'm sure you were talking earlier, it's a rush to be out here as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a really big rush. Now, how do you guys prepare? Because you guys are going to be out here till Friday at till 10 p.m. What do you guys do to prepare for that?
You just start a couple of weeks early and just get ready for it. Get ready for a long week.
Is there certain supplies that you bring? I mean, it's going to be cold and rainy.
Food, drinks, clothes, basically the necessities.
And you guys are going to actually stay here for 3 days straight, and you don't plan on leaving or going home. You guys are going to stay here.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, hey, we love it. Now make sure that you guys catch the game. It's October 17th at 7 p.m., so you're not going to want to miss that. Hey, before we go, we have to do it. We got to give a CATS, 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 cats. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. Oh, CATS, 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 cats. Love it. Hey, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, good job. They came to life there this morning.
It took them a minute. I think they're still sleepy this morning. They're like, yeah, we're really excited.
Trying to contain their excitement.
Yeah, they're just
right?
keeping it in. They're saving it up.
All right. All right, it's off to madness now.
All right, let's check to see how traffic is moving this morning.
And let's go to Officer Don and check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Well, there's a collision inbound Nicholasville Road. This one's just past the circle, and at last look, police were diverting traffic into the Kmart parking lot to get around that. Hopefully we'll have it cleared in just a few minutes, but that's something to be aware of if you plan to be inbound Nicholasville Road as you approach Lexington Green. Live look outside. We're okay overall this morning, even on the north side of Lexington, looking good on the inner and outer loops of the circle. And overall view looks good, and there's a live view of Nicholasville and alumni. It's courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, Don, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we're glad you're with us here on WKYT on this Wednesday morning. We have a lot more coming right up.
Still to come, there's no crying in baseball, except if you drop the engagement ring. How this couple recovered in front of thousands of people. Coming up right after weather.
We do have some rain on the way. It's heading our direction. It's going to be pretty chilly rain once it begins. When does it arrive? We've got a lot going on with Big Blue Madness, with the tents going on downtown, and maybe heading out to the ball fields later on this evening. Will you be able to? I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
The morning hours look pretty good. I don't see much of an issue whatsoever. So you heading out to work, kids heading out to school, no problems. It's coming home. There's the rain to the north of us. Now the showers are actually moving northeast, so don't expect them anytime soon. But the whole system is slowly but surely dropping southbound. Here's what's going to happen. Anywhere from, I would say, 9 to about noontime. Yes, you could have a passing shower or thunderstorm to the far northern zones. But most of this, the bulk of the action, comes later on this afternoon off into the evening hours. So here's the breakdown of it. Noon to about 3 p.m. That is your best bet from Lexington northbound. That does include the 71 corridor, 64 corridor from Lexington to Louisville. Go up northbound through Scott County, through Grant County. That's where you're going to be seeing some of that rain noon to 3 p.m. And that does include, say, Mason County, and work your way back up 68 and AA Highway. So there's 3 p.m. right there, and you can see the bulk of it. It's already into Lexington, right? That goes from Frankfort to this time, at this time in this area. What you see here on the screen, that could be a few strong, potentially an isolated severe cell. Now, are we looking at damaging winds? No. Are we looking at tornadic activity? Absolutely not. It's nothing like that. It's on the opposite end, which we don't see all that much. Hailstones, that's what we have to be watching out for with this system, because it's a cold air system, meaning you got some cooler air in place. And you can see by 4 p.m. kids coming home from school, you coming home from work. Yeah, central zones, northern zones still looks like pretty nasty conditions at that time. Go off toward 5 p.m. There's your look. Now stretching back toward, say, the Bluegrass Parkway and down toward 68 and 150. And then it just slowly but surely heads eastbound. I want to show you this, though. Look at 6 p.m. East-southeast. You guys still have not seen rain. That's London to Hazard back up towards, say, Salyersville, across the Mountain Parkway. Still at the farthest part of the Mountain Parkway, that is. Still not seeing rain. So you guys actually have a really nice day until you hit the evening hours. That's when some rain moves on in. Severe threat, central and northern zones. We talked about this. Hailstones going to be our main player with that. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast off into Thursday and Friday. Let me just tell you this. It doesn't change that much. You're going to have hit-and-miss showers on Thursday and a couple of rumbles of thunder. And that goes for Friday, too. Friday night football at this moment, I don't see it being affected too much, but I still see at least a rain chance, about a 40% chance during the evening hours on Friday. But you still have some pretty good chances the next few days, guys. That heads off into your Saturday. Saturday morning is your best bet as opposed to Saturday afternoon and evening. It looks like it should fade during that time. That means all these big neighborhood yard sales, got to keep that in mind, that morning hours still looks like a rain chance during that time.
All right, everybody heads up on that.
That's right.
Thank you, Micah. Well, there's no crying in baseball, right? Well, there might be an exception. What if you dropped an engagement ring in front of thousands of fans?
Oops, right?
Yikes.
Andrew Fox was ready to pop the question to his girlfriend at Yankee Stadium last night. The big moment was being broadcast on the stadium's video screen when Fox went down on one knee and, he dropped the ring as he opened the box. The crowd gasped and then jeered, and the couple scrambled to find the ring for about 5 tense minutes. The prospective groom even started to cry, as you might imagine. But the unforced error has a happy ending. That ring was in the cuff of the bride-to-be's pants.
Oh,
so
my
it was
goodness.
found, and apparently she said yes.
Well, thank goodness for that. I can't believe he cried. I probably would too if I spent that much money on an engagement ring and lost it before I even put it on her finger, you know?
Well, they're going to have that story to tell, right?
Yes, they had the whole crowd looking for it.
You got it.
Cute.
6:48 our time on WKYT. Hump Day Wednesday, and we have more news coming up.
We'll see you. Keep it here on WKYT.
Coming up, how a former Miss Universe criticized by Donald Trump is now helping the Clinton campaign. Plus, a Wells Fargo scandal cost executives millions, but are other banks also using deceptive tactics to meet quotas? More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Welcome back in. It is 6:51 on your Wednesday. A deadly crash in Scott County and Big Blue fans invade UK's campus.
Those are some of the stories making headlines this morning. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain joining us now with a look at what's trending on the web.
Good morning. Now, the Scott County coroner confirms one person is dead following this morning's crash near Stamping Ground. We're told 2 female passengers have non-life-threatening injuries. The crash happened on Wood Lake Road near Pea Ridge Road sometime before 5 o'clock this morning. Also on WKYT.com, a lot of you are following the story of multiple crashes that have taken place on the Mountain Parkway. In Powell County, 4 people have died in just a week's time from 3 separate crashes on the Parkway. The latest crash happened yesterday near Clay City. Another popular story on WKYT.com is the closing of National Provisions. The owner of the Lexington restaurant at the corner of Walton and National Avenue says the space will be available for private parties and special events till new owners take over. And of course, Big Blue Madness is always a talker. WKYT's Lauren Miner was live throughout the morning as fans set up shop to camp out for the release of Big Blue Madness tickets. Now, those tickets will be given out on Friday. Head to WKYT.com for all the details on how to get Big Blue Madness tickets. The madness is set for October 14th, and that's always great video, right, Bill?
It is. We'll put that on online as well for folks to check that out. It happened right after 5 o'clock this morning that they actually made that mad dash across Avenue of Champions. Other news this morning, Whitley County firefighters are still trying to figure out what caused a deadly fire. It started at a home on Kentucky 26 in Woodbine. The coroner says the victim is 63-year-old Dennis Dwayne Barton. Neighbors say Barton was disabled. Barton was found in the living room in his recliner, which is where the fire chief thinks the fire started. The issue has been debated for months now. Is a man accused of breaking into a Woodford County home and killing a 6-year-old boy competent to stand trial? Ronald Exantis is accused of killing Logan Tipton back in December. From court yesterday, a judge heard testimony from Exantis' psychiatric doctor. While Exantis' test results did not show signs of neurological abnormality, his doctor testified that she believes he does have some type of psychiatric issue. The judge is now reviewing the testimony and is expected to rule on Exantis' competency during his next hearing that will be on November 2nd.
Lexington police say a man could be connected to more than a dozen burglaries and thefts in a neighborhood. 25-year-old Jared Dunaway is considered to be a person of interest in the crimes in the Fairway neighborhood. Police say televisions were stolen from back porches and patios, and lawn equipment stolen from garages. To text a tip to Lexington Police, start your message with LexPD and send it to crimes at 274-637. You could get a reward for your information. One southeastern Kentucky town joined several others nearby voting to allow alcohol sales. Pineville was already a moist town, allowing alcohol sales in certain restaurants. Yesterday, citizens voted in favor of allowing alcohol sales throughout the city. And in Jenkins and Warfield, voters also chose to allow alcohol sales.
Heads up for parents, important changes are coming to the Kentucky Lottery Scholarship Program. Student application dates are being moved up. In the past, students could not apply until January 1st, but later today, the lottery plans to announce students will now be able to apply for scholarships starting this Saturday, October 1st. Lottery officials say nearly $100 million in scholarships and grants are handed out on a first-come, first-served basis.
All right. A disturbing scene played out at a California grocery store. You can see a woman in black and a man in a tank top arguing when another woman tries to separate them. When the heated argument moves outside, this happens. Take a look at your screen. The man punches the woman in the face, causing her to collapse. As the guy walks away, a crowd tries to stop him. Someone even tried to put the guy in a headlock, but he did get away. Police say the man and woman met earlier in the day at a festival and later ran across each other again at the store. There's probably some more to learn about that story.
Right.
Goodness gracious.
Strange video, though, huh?
Well, Amy Schumer is the most dangerous celebrity to search for on the internet.
That's the word. Intel Security says a search for the comedian carries a more than 16% chance of connecting with a site that carries viruses or malware. Schumer is #1 on the dangerous search list, followed by Justin Bieber, Carson Daly, Will Smith, and Rihanna. So there you go.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder how that happened. All right, well, let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris for a final look at your forecast.
Yeah, and the lookout out this morning is actually a pretty good look. But later on this afternoon, remember, a slight chance of rain before noontime for northern zones. It's really afternoon the bulk of the rain moves on in. Noon to 3 p.m. is central, which includes Lexington, northbound and westbound. And that does include the Bluegrass Parkway, rather. Mountain Parkway, work your way southbound into, say, Lake Cumberland area. That's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That does include Richmond. And then go off into southeastern zones, guys. That's mainly during the evening hours. You see the bulk of the rain move on in.
Yeah, they get a pretty nice day most of the day
Most
there.
of the day,
Yeah.
Southeast looks pretty good.
Okay. Well, nobody is more up to date than you to start your day because you chose WKYT for your morning news.
CBS This Morning is next. Thanks for joining us.